Hey comic book fans, welcome to the Comic Fix, your one-stop shop for every single DC Comics, to some creator-owned series, to a little bit Marvel. My name's David, and welcome to the Comic Fix. So, in this video, I'm going to be continuing on with the Zero issues that came out for DC Comics this week. Now, a new title has started up with this month, and that one title that came out this week was The Phantom Stranger, issue number 0. You got a little taste of him in the Free Comic Book Day book that came out about 4 months ago. I was interested in it, and then I saw who was writing it. Dan Didio. I don't know what to think about him. I don't think he's the greatest writer in the world. He's definitely not the worst. But how did he do in this book? Well, the story is that you get the origin of the Phantom Stranger. And you get to see that he actually is Judas. And the thing is, though, is that they never say he is Judas, but they just throw all this stuff on it that makes you think, yes, this guy is definitely Judas, even though they don't say the word Judas in there. So you get to see him in his origin. And then slowly, about the halfway point of the book, you get to see him in present day. And he meets this cop guy, and he gets told by these upper beings that he has to help this cop. And that's where the book got pretty good. Except for a couple scenes. There was a scene in there with the cop and the cop's boss. And it was just like something you've seen out of a bad TV show. The writing was just so generic that I was just like, wow, Dan, you really disappoint me in this. It just felt like fan fiction or just terrible TV shows of cop programs. And the end to this book is really surprising. You get to introduce to a new character's origin. There's 2 characters' origins in this book. And that's one thing I was not expecting. But who is that other character? Well, you just have to read this book to find out. So, let's get on to the good, the bad, and whether or not you should pick this book up. The good... There wasn't really anything that was spectacular about this issue. It was a very origin story that was just not gonna wow anybody. I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, it definitely wasn't a terrible book, but there's just some points in there, like I said, it was just really generic. The art in here was nothing spectacular. I definitely could have used a better artist on this book. Because I was just looking at it, I was just a little bit bored with the dialogue, and the art just couldn't pick this book up. Hopefully Dan Didio can actually pick up on the pace on this book. It was pretty slow. It was very dialogue heavy, where he was just Phantom Stranger talking to himself about how he wants redemption for all the stuff he's done in his past. And if you did not know, the suit he wears, or like the robe, or the cape now, but it's actually the robe that Jesus wore, and it was stolen from his body when he died. And so I thought that was a pretty cool twist. And to see him when he came back into reality, and he came back to the place that he hung himself from, which was pretty cool. But other than that, it was a very half-assed type of work. I mean, the art was not this spectacular. The writing was pretty generic. The only original idea I thought in here was putting Judas as a superhero. Who would have thought of that? I mean, I never would have thought to put out Judas as a superhero, but they're doing it in this book. I don't know where it's going, but this one issue, if I had to say the very least, it did not make me want to pick up issue number 1. But I will. I decided to give every single new series from DC New 52 at least 3 issues to, make me want to pick another issue up. So I got 2 more issues of this book. Then I'll see if I want to pick up as an ongoing. So if I haven't give this one a score, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5. Definitely could have been a lot better. Next up is one of the books that just I read and I look at the artwork. I'm just like so enthralled by how good this series is. And it's only 2 issues in, and that is Hawkeye, issue number 2. First off, I gotta say, this cover is just gorgeous. I just love how simple it is, but how just you can just see a story being told in this one picture. It's just gorgeous as hell. So the storyline is actually pretty fun. So Clint and Kate Bishop go to the circus. Now who's at the circus? Some of the heavy hitters in the criminal underground of the Marvel Universe. You got the Kingpin there and all his henchmen and just all these bad guys in the Marvel Universe. And it's so cool, though, to see when Clint is going through the circus and he's just like, oh God, they're going to kill me, they're going to kill me. And it was just so funny to read. And it was just like, you got into the head of Clint. He was so not enjoying being in this spot. And then in the halfway mark of the book, you find out that there's people who are robbing the criminals of the Marvel Universe. So it's up to Hawkeye and Kate to steal the money away from the crooks who are stealing the money from the crooks. And it's just a fun story. I love the artwork. The artwork and the layouts of this book is just so beautiful and just so intricate. You can look at this book all day long and find new things. And it was funny, though, because I love the parts when it introduces a new character. And you see the character in just the regular artwork. And then it goes like this weird black and white type of thing to explain who the character is and what Hawkeye thinks about him. And it's so interesting to see how the layout of this book is, and how the dialogue and everything just works together. This is definitely one of the best series in anything in the comic industry right now. Just these 2 issues have just blown my mind. And one of the best things about this series is that in the first 2 issues, they're more like one-shots. They tell a story, a full story, in just one issue. And you could jump on it any time. You don't have to read the first issue to enjoy this issue right here. And I got who Kate Bishop is right away. I mean, everything was just so perfect. Because I am pretty novice to the whole Marvel Universe. But in this one issue with Kate Bishop, I got who she is, what her relationship is to Hawkeye, and then I could just enjoy the story from there. There was no questions I was asking about who is this person, what his relationship to Hawkeye is. Beautiful, beautiful work. This is definitely a 5 out of 5. And I could easily say that from all the books I've read this week, because I still got, I think, 4 or 5 more to go, this is definitely on the head for the pick of the week. Just a beautiful, beautiful book. If you're not reading Hawkeye, read it. I mean, it's just, on issue number 2, all of them are just one-shots, first 2 issues. You can read any of them and enjoy the story for what it is. And that's one thing you don't see in comics nowadays. Matt Fraction is definitely writing this book for the single issues and not for a trade paperback. And I'm going to be interested to read the trade paperback because I'm definitely going to buy the trade paperback once it comes out. But he's definitely writing a story for the single issues. So 5 out of 5, great, great book. And if there's those situations where people tell you, oh, if you could only have 3 books, well, 3 books I would have would be Saga, probably Earth 2, and Hawkeye. No, I would take out Earth 2 and I would put actually in Swamp Thing. No. Wonder Woman, that's it. Earth 2, no. Wonder Woman, Hawkeye, and Saga. Those would be my top 3 that I would keep if I didn't have this show. Okay, next up is the Archer for the DC Comics, and that is Green Arrow, issue number 0. So in here we get to see Green Arrow as a young man and just partying up, and his father basically is getting really sick of him, so he sends him off onto an oil rig to run the oil rig. And Green Arrow, Oliver Queen, is just having parties all day long in there, bringing people aboard the ship and just having parties all day. Well, some pirates come in and board the oil vessel and try to steal the oil, and it's up to Oliver Queen to stop it, and all hell breaks loose. So basically that's about it for the story. There is some parts in there with Roy Harper, but other than that, nothing much else happened. Was this a good Zero issue? Kind of. This was a story I didn't really need to know, because in this issue you do get like 2 panels of him when he's on the island, and it was just really a throwaway story, I felt. And that's one thing I've been really sad about Green Arrow. It just has no direction. And Judd Winnick is on here as the writer, and I really expected him to do a lot better job. And he did not deliver whatsoever. And then the art in here, not bad, but definitely not good. It was just like on the average side. There was nothing really in here I enjoyed. I did not enjoy Oliver Queen. I did not see him get like a redemption to him. All you just got to see him is just be a jackass, but no redemption to him. And that's one thing I was expecting. Because in the beginning you see him as this jackass of a guy who just wants to get drunk and have sex with hot girls. But there was no redemption for him. You did not care about this character. Why would I want to read a book that just has no direction, and the character is just somebody you don't like, especially in this issue? The Zero issues were supposed to be something that people could go into brand new and fresh and enjoy the characters and want to read more. In this Zero issue, you did not want to read more. This Oliver Queen that they showed in this book was a jackass, and the redemption side of him that was on the island was only shown in a couple panels, and then that was it. So I did not like this issue whatsoever. Judd Winnick, I expected a lot more from you, and this was just below everything you've done before in the New 52. So I'm going to give Green Arrow issue number 0 a 1 out of 5. God, how can Marvel get their Archer right, but Green Arrow is just so bad? Especially now with the Arrow TV show coming on. Don't you think the DC Comics would be like, we got this TV show which looks pretty damn good, and that's going to drive people to want to read Green Arrow. Shouldn't we have some good writers on there and a good editorial team to get this book on track? Because I think they just need to get rid of this whole entire book and start fresh with a new editorial team and a new writer and new art. Just everything. One more book for this week, or for this video, and that is Stormwatch, issue number 0. So Adam 1 is back in this issue, and he's talking to the Sentry baby, or the Sentry baby. And this Sentry person, she basically can take all the scientific knowledge and everything of any generation that she's in. Like if she goes into the future, she'll know everything about that future. But if she's in this time, she'll know all the knowledge that we have of today. So he basically, Adam tells her stories about all the other Sentry babies that came before her. It was uninteresting all the way through. The artwork in here was just bad, and you just couldn't really get into this whole entire story. And if I was a new reader coming into this book, I would just be like, ew, what did I just read? I just got a terrible taste in my mouth. I mean, it was funny though, like, I started to read it, I put it down because it was really bad. I started doodling around on TV, or on the computer, and then I was like, I have to read this book just so I can review it. And, oh god, it just, ugh. The artwork in here was just not even average. The writing in here was, ugh. I mean, I was just so uninterested. And to see, I don't know, where Stormwatch is going. But the best, I can say Stormwatch is definitely going to be one on this cutting room floor for DC Comics when the next wave comes. Because, oh man, the last 2 to 3 issues, I do believe they've been just going downhill really, really fast. And it's sad to see, because I was actually enjoying Stormwatch when, I forget the artist's name, but this artist who is now on Red Lantern, when he was on this book, and I think it was Peter Milligan, they were doing some fun stuff, and just everything was just flowing so well. But then once the artist left the book has slowly gone downhill, and I think it's at the lowest of the lowest it can go right now. If I was a new reader going into the series, I just wouldn't want to read this series whatsoever. And that's one thing Zero Issues were supposed to do. They're supposed to tell people, hey, you want to read this book? Well, read this issue. It'll tell you everything you need to know. And then you can jump on with issue number 13 and go from there, fresh and new. This issue, I just don't know where it's going. I don't know where the whole series is going. And it's sad to see because I was actually enjoying it for a little bit of time. So with this one, I'm going to give Stormwatch issue number 0 a half a star out of 5. It's funny though. Like, I read Green Arrow and Stormwatch back to back, and I just went, bleh. But then I just looked at Hawkeye, and I was just like, oh, there's my Hawkeye. I love you. I just want to read you some more. Just throw Green Arrow and Stormwatch in the garbage, and I'll just love on my Hawkeye. So, my name's David. This is the Comic Fix, and if you're a new viewer, subscribe up top. To your old viewers, like on the bottom. My name's David, and I hope you guys enjoyed the fix.